What if I told you that right now, sitting in your kitchen, there are foods that will still be perfectly safe to eat 10, 20, even 50 years from now? No lie. Somewhere in an Egyptian tomb, archaeologists cracked open a sealed jar and found something inside that was still edible after 3,000 years. 3,000 years. And it wasn't some rare, exotic ingredient, it's something you probably have in your pantry this second. Here's the truth, nobody tells you. Grocery prices aren't going back down, supply chains are shakier than ever, and, just in case, isn't paranoia anymore. It's common sense. But you don't need a bunker, a generator, or a $1,000 freeze-dried food bucket to build a stockpile that could carry you through anything. You just need to know which foods laugh in the face of expiration dates. Today, I'm breaking down 15 foods that, when stored properly, basically never go bad. Some of them will shock you. Number 7 is sitting in almost every kitchen on Earth, and nobody realizes it's basically immortal. And stick around till the end, because I'm going to show you the one storage mistake that ruins almost every single item on this list, even the forever foods. Let's get into it. Before we jump in, if you're into practical, no-nonsense prepping and survival tips that actually work in real life, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I post new stockpiling and self-sufficiency videos every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Okay, let's talk food. Number 1, raw honey. Honey is the undisputed king of never-expiring food. Because it's low in moisture and naturally acidic, bacteria simply cannot survive in it. That's why sealed honey pulled from ancient tombs was still soft, golden, and edible after millennia. Over time, honey might crystallize or darken, but that doesn't mean it's spoiled. Just warm the jar gently in hot water, and it turns liquid again. Store it in an airtight container away from sunlight, and it will outlive you. Number 2, white rice. White rice, stored properly in a sealed, airtight container with an oxygen absorber, can last upwards of 20 to 30 years. The reason is simple. The milling process strips away the outer bran layer, which is where oils that cause rancidity are found. Brown rice, on the other hand, spoils in months because it still has those oils. If you're building a long-term stockpile, white rice is one of the cheapest calorie-dense foods you can buy in bulk. Number 3, salt. Salt is a mineral, not an organic compound, which means bacteria and mold have zero chance of breaking it down. Archaeologists have found preserved salt deposits that are thousands of years old and still perfectly usable. Beyond seasoning your food, salt is also essential for preserving meat, curing, and even basic first aid. A single bucket of salt could genuinely last generations if kept dry. Number 4, granulated sugar. Just like salt, sugar's low moisture content makes it inhospitable to bacteria and mold. It can clump or harden over time, but that's a texture issue, not a safety one. Just break it apart. Sugar isn't only for baking either. Historically, it's been used as a natural preservative for fruits and jams. Store it in a moisture-proof container, and it will remain shelf-stable indefinitely. Number 5, pure maple syrup. Unlike the sugary imitation syrups on grocery shelves, pure maple syrup has a natural sugar concentration high enough to prevent bacterial growth almost entirely. Unopened, it can sit in a pantry for years without issue. Once opened, refrigeration extends its life even further, sometimes indefinitely. If you ever see a thin layer of mold form on top, you can typically just skim it off. The syrup underneath is still safe. Quick pause if this list is opening your eyes to how easy long-term food storage actually is. Smash that like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to see it, and it takes 2 seconds. Also, drop a comment telling me which food on this list surprised you the most so far. Alright, let's keep going because the next 5 foods are even more interesting. Number 6, distilled white vinegar. Vinegar is essentially self-preserving because of its high acidity, which prevents any microbial growth. It has an indefinite shelf life and can even be used to sanitize surfaces, clean produce, and preserve other foods through pickling. Over long periods, it might change color slightly or develop a cloudy sediment called mother, but that's completely harmless and doesn't affect its usability. Number 7, cornstarch. This is the sneaky one I mentioned earlier. Cornstarch sits in almost every kitchen, and nobody thinks twice about it. Because it's a dry, pure starch with virtually no moisture, it resists spoilage almost entirely when kept sealed and dry. It's not just a thickening agent either. Cornstarch can double as a natural deodorizer, a dry shampoo substitute, and even a fire extinguisher for small grease flare-ups in a pinch. Number 8. Hard liquor. High-proof spirits like vodka, whiskey, rum, and bourbon don't spoil because alcohol itself is a preservative. Unopened, they can sit on a shelf indefinitely. Beyond the obvious, hard liquor has serious practical value. In a stockpile, it can be used to disinfect wounds, sterilize tools, start fires, and even serve as barter currency in a real emergency. Just keep bottles away from direct sunlight and heat to preserve flavor. Number 9. Pure vanilla extract. Because real vanilla extract contains at least 35% alcohol by volume, it shares the same preservation properties as hard liquor. It essentially never expires when stored in a cool, dark place with the cap sealed tightly. Imitation vanilla, which lacks that alcohol content, does eventually degrade, so always check the label if you're stockpiling for the long haul. Number 10. Powdered milk. Powdered milk, when stored correctly in an airtight, oxygen-free environment, can last 20 years or more, making it one of the most valuable calcium and protein sources in a long-term food stockpile. The drying process removes the moisture that would normally lead to spoilage. It rehydrates easily and can be used for drinking, baking, or cooking, almost exactly like fresh milk. If you're taking notes or building your own stockpile list, go ahead and save this video right now so you can come back to it later. I'll wait. Also, if you haven't already, this is your reminder to subscribe, because next week I'm covering the exact containers and storage methods that make these foods last even longer than what I'm sharing today. Now, let's finish strong with the final 5. Number 11. Dried beans. Dried beans, when kept in a cool, dry, airtight environment, can remain safe to eat for decades, though older beans may take longer to cook and soften. They're one of the most nutrient-dense, protein-rich foods you can store in bulk for very little money. A single 5-gallon bucket of dried beans, properly sealed with oxygen absorbers, could provide hundreds of meals over the years. Number 12. Wheat berries. Whole wheat berries, the unprocessed kernel form of wheat, are famous in the prepping world for their incredible longevity. Because the hard outer hull protects the grain inside, properly stored wheat berries can last upwards of 30 years and still be ground into fresh flour whenever needed. This is one of the ultimate grow your own bread from storage foods. Number 13. Soy sauce. Thanks to its high salt content and natural fermentation process, soy sauce is remarkably resistant to spoilage. Unopened bottles can last for years past any printed date, and even after opening, it remains safe for a very long time when kept in a cool area. Its bold flavor also makes it a fantastic way to add depth to bland stockpiled meals like rice and beans. Number 14. Instant coffee. Instant coffee, sealed and kept away from moisture and light, can last for many years without losing safety, even if the flavor mellows slightly over time. For a lot of preppers, coffee isn't just about taste. It's about morale, routine, and a small sense of normalcy during a stressful situation. Never underestimate how much a warm cup of coffee can boost spirits when everything else feels uncertain. Number 15. Bouillon cubes and powder bouillon is often overlooked, but it's a stockpiling powerhouse. Its low moisture content and high salt concentration give it an extremely long shelf life, and it instantly transforms plain water, rice, or beans into a flavorful, warming meal. A small box of bouillon cubes takes up almost no space, but delivers a massive return in flavor and comfort when your options are limited. The one mistake that ruins everything. Before we wrap up, here's that storage mistake I promised. All 15 of these foods share one common enemy: moisture. It doesn't matter how immortal honey or rice or wheat berries are if they're exposed to humidity, condensation, or improper sealing. That natural resistance to spoilage breaks down fast. Always use airtight, food-grade containers, keep everything in a cool, dark space, and where possible, add oxygen absorbers for grains and powders. That one habit is the difference between a stockpile that lasts decades and one that quietly goes bad in your closet without you ever knowing. Alright, that's the full list. If you found this genuinely useful, do me a favor and hit like, drop a comment with your own stockpiling tips, and share this with someone you know who's trying to get more prepared and self-sufficient. And obviously subscribe if you haven't yet, because this channel is all about practical, real-world preparedness that doesn't require a fortune to get started. At the end of the day, stockpiling isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom from panic when shelves run empty. Freedom from watching prices spike and feeling powerless. Freedom to take care of the people you love, no matter what happens next. These 15 foods are proof that being prepared doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It just takes a little knowledge and a little planning, starting today. So, which one of these are you adding to your pantry first? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stay ready, stay stocked, and I'll catch you next time.